Of a portion of East Loveland Road in Madison Township. This hearing is being called to order by myself, the President of the Board of Lake County Commissioners. This hearing is being held in accordance with Section 5553.047 of the Ohio Revised Code for the primary purpose of hearing comments on the proposed vacation of a portion of East Loveland Road located in Madison Township, and this meeting will be recorded. Any person wishing to comment on the proposed vacation of a portion of East Loveland Road in Madison Township is invited to speak at this time, or an agent may speak on their behalf after stating their names and addresses in full, also in a clear and distinct voice for the record. So, is there anyone wishing to speak on this subject? Sir, please.
Lonnie R.
If you don't mind. Yeah, no, got to follow all the rules here.
All the years I served this county, and I never had the pleasure of speaking before the board or all the representation that's here. I see faces I haven't seen for a long time. I reside at 37643 Ocean Reef, Willoughby, Ohio.
Name for the record now.
Lonnie R. Sparkman
There
Jr. There's two of us. The reason I'm here today is obviously to have a little bit of a comment about the vacating of a road that we didn't learn until late in the process. Mr. Brown has kept us informed up until this point, the administrator from Madison Township. A road in which I want to point out that nothing has been done on a certain section of it for a dozen years or more. Not grade, not anything with the ditch line from the stormwater. And now they want to vacate a portion of the road that goes directly into about roughly 400 acres of land that we are good stewards of, that's part of the Grand River watershed. Well, that's one of the reasons we're a little upset with, we have to comply with so many different things in terms of runoff, in which we willingly do because it's the right thing to do for our environment. So, you know, we start seeing the things in terms of they're going to vacate a portion of the road, and we see things that are done to the road up to certain parts of the road. And for instance, West Loveland gets completely done, and I know it's a little different set of circumstances there. There's many other residences that lead up to a private camp at the end of West Loveland. But we put in a new range and comply with all of zoning things that the township wanted us to do, and even went so far as to something was outside their zoning rules and agreed not to do any shooting until noon on Sunday, to be good neighbors and be good stewards again with the land and our neighbors, so that we always try to comply with our township, which is run very well, and understand their plight and dilemma in terms of maintaining so many roads. But my question and why I'm upset and coming to the board to ask for time so we can do some public records requests and look into funds that should have been spent and why they weren't spent, and maybe there's a justifiable reason they weren't spent. But we want to have time to look at that before the road is vacated, because we'll have to make contingency plans if they vacate the road and it's granted for plowing, which could be in excess of $4,000 for a season for us, and do some repairs to the road so the road gets rid of some holes and potholes and I'm going to say it's an unplowed traditional kind of an old-time township road. I mean, it's gravel and it needs to be graded, which it hasn't been done in some time, and the ditches have not been cleared. So we want to look at those things and see what's in our best interest. It's funny that the coincidence occurs that our taxes get reevaluated by Mr. Galloway, and we understand that's a point of law that has to be done in a timely fashion. But our taxes go up on this land substantially. We have some forest things that we do to lower those taxes, but they're still in excess of $15,000 a year, and probably will go to a higher number this year. So again, we want to, being good taxpayers and paying on time in a timely fashion, realizing that we all have to pay our fair share to get things done in this county, which is run quite well. We understand those things, but we'd like that a time period where we can again pull up some public records. Why wasn't some of the stormwater, why wasn't something used to clean those ditches so the water runs off that road properly? We have some neighbors that have done some things that may or may not have received zoning permits to do that run off on our property. Being good neighbors, we approached them and asked them to correct it, and I think they're in the process of doing that. I'm going to look at those records to see if they applied and followed the same set of zoning rules that we had to apply for and carry out. So a lot of things that we need to do, and in a time frame, having this road vacated now would put us in an unfriendly or compromising position to get those things done. We may or may not approach Mr. Galloway in a hearing and ask to have our taxes reduced because we're losing so many frontage on these tracts of land. One will be completely landlocked. But in fairness to the township and in fairness to the tax base, we're going to be stewards of that land. We're not in the business of selling it. It's green space, it's the Grand River watershed. We're all outdoorsmen of some kind, fishermen, hunters, just enjoying the outdoors, hiking. We're going to maintain that. It's not going to be for sale. So that is not the huge impact. It's just how our property was evaluated with frontage. And now, if this road is vacated, we'll be without frontage or a substantial portion of no frontage. And we've always been open to having people come in. We see roughly about 300 to 3,500 visitors outside our membership that come and enjoy the things that we provide. We do hunter safety and fishing things for underprivileged and bring kids out from inner city and do some things. So it would just be a financial impact on us until we have a chance to look at that and look at all those things. We're asking the board to give us at least until past that time frame when we have the hearing with Mr. Galloway, and I think that runs till March. We may ultimately decide it's in our best interest to not have fight over the frontage part and live with the taxes, because and with the forestry things, it could end up being as fair or better for us if we don't. But the thing that we're upset the most of is that there's been little or no attention paid to that section of the road, which if you think it's not worthy of that, why are you asking to vacate it now? If it's a township road and it requires maintenance, why haven't you done some maintenance with soil and water, and why haven't you done it with the percentage of money that you get from the state for road? And I know it's not significant, but it's still a sum of money.
And when you say you're referring to Madison Township.
That's right. It's rude, Mr. Hamchuk.
No,
it is Madison Township, which I might add is run very well. They're all good men and good people.
Indeed. No,
it's not
good friends,
it's not about that. It's about what we need to have done to see what's in our best interest and find out why that wasn't done. Because at one point we had one of our members approached the road superintendent, who simply said, I treat that like a private drive. We're not going to do anything with that. Okay. Well, to me, I don't know what your definition of private drive is, but once you start to ask to vacate a road, it's simply not a private. It may be a paper road, and I understand the terminology of that, but it's still a road in Madison Township and worthy of maintenance, not a dozen years before you see any maintenance at all.
Okay. Clearly, I think that what you expressed and brought forward matters subject to fair debate. And if I could just ask, it's my understanding there are basically two property owners, your group being one of them.
Yes.
And if I think I heard you correctly, there would be at least one parcel that would be landlocked.
It is. When you first come in, it's by our new range. I think the other people is a business C4, and those are good people and good stewards,
good neighbors,
and no issue with them personally. It's just that it's going to impact both of us. If you go back to the original center line, where that center line exists, do we need to negotiate with that property owner to get something so it doesn't impact the front of our interest? We don't know that.
Okay.
We don't know that. And the sad part of it is we had to make a number of calls before we finally got involved, and now, thank goodness, Mr. Brown, Tim Brown, who's a good man, is reaching out to us and keeping us informed. And that's why I'm here today.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, moving with undue speed would cause a hardship to your organization. You just need time to get with our auditor, obviously, to have further communication with the Madison Township trustees. And since we are having just a public hearing, no actions are being taken. There's no resolution. I'm looking over at legal. There's no resolution currently prepared, sir?
No. I got to check the statute. I don't have it with me. With regard to the time sensitivity of this, for some reason I'm thinking there may be a time component to the presentation of the township's resolution, the public hearing, but I will get back to the board immediately. Okay. And I will communicate with Mr. Sparkman.
And that's fair to have our prosecutor's office work out the logistics, and we'll keep you fully informed. Obviously, if you could give your contact information to our clerk, commissioner's clerk, that'd be great. And obviously we'll have enhanced communications with Madison Township, but if we keep within the guardrails, no pun intended.
I got you. I got you.
So if you're good with that?
I am good with that. I know David personally, and I've did a lot of interaction with the prosecutor's office for a number of years, and have absolute trust in their honesty and everything that's taken place, and obviously with the three of you. So that's why we're here today, to say, listen, as a group, we, certainly want to do the right thing, but we want to look at it and see what's in our best interest, not rush through and obviously answer those questions about why something wasn't done with those funds. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Gentlemen, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I had
Commissioner Young? Yes, please.
Question, just to get some more background for the public, basically. But tell us a little bit about your organization. You mentioned there's 400 acres there.
Yeah,
you folks use it currently. You maintain it.
Yep. We are.
How would the road impact your business, whether it's vacated or not?
First of all, it's not a business, Mr. Young. It's a private club called Lake County Rod and Gun Club, which consists of 200 active members, 200 lifetime members, and a number of visitors that we get on a yearly basis. We've been buying tracts of land to keep it green space in the Grand River watershed for a number of years. It originated in Fairport Harbor. That's where its charter came from. And we ultimately started buying this property in Madison Township for a number of reasons. Was the availability of the land, the Grand River watershed. We do a number of things. We have a mixture of folks. We have fly fishermen and gun hunters and bow hunters and just hikers and bird watchers. And as I said before, we do hunter education classes, we do gun safety classes, we do CCW classes. We try to do it in a fashion to meet state law and comply with everything. We do a plethora of things in the community to do the right things. We support veterans groups. We have them out there to fish in our stock ponds. We do a couple of fundraisers a year. We have a banquet we do in Perry where we raffle off a number of things, and that money is dedicated to helping, again, veterans and younger people and safety things. And we have people ranging from nursery workers to U.S. attorneys to law enforcement to nurses. We have a wide range of demographic in terms of professional work and what we do. So we have our fingers in a number of things, but primarily we try to be very good stewards of the land, and we will maintain that land at all. We were approached by Metro Parks to sell it. It's not for sale. We're going to make it. We'll go eventually to a conservatism so it's protected forever, and just keep our clubhouse where it's at, and have a lot of interaction with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. So.
And how would the road, vacating?
Well, what happens is this road, the portion that they want to vacate, leads directly into the front entrance of our club. I mean, there's a gate there that sets back off the road and off of East Loveland. It goes into our main club grounds where the members go. So it would impact it significantly. We would have to get a hold of a snowplow operator because there'll be nothing, not that I think there was a great deal done before, but we would have to get contracts signed and do something at expense at hasty times, cost you more than it does if you have time to negotiate those contracts to have things taken care of. So it will impact us financially. It's obviously going to impact us financially if you lose frontage on the value of a property versus what the auditor currently sees it at in terms of our tax base. Now, as I said before, we do get a break on that because we have forestry things in place and it is green space, so we do get a break on it. But we do pay, in my opinion, a substantial amount of money, and with it just getting reevaluated, that's going to go up. And as a police officer for 37 years, I don't really believe in coincidence too much. We get reevaluated and they want to vacate a road. So we got to pay more money for a vacated road they've done little or nothing with for the last dozen years. And I realize they have a lot out there, and then we got to pay more taxes to Mr. And I want to say his name, Mr. Galloway, because I know he has, his hands are constrained, he has to do it, but we'll have that conversation later date with Mr. Galloway.
He has broad shoulders.
Yeah, he does. He's got a good solid base, yeah.
I think that was a compliment.
It was. I think the world of Mr. Galloway, yeah.
So you'd have to maintain the road as well, then? Not
Yes,
snowplow,
yes.
but-
And we're willing to do that, Mr. Young, given the time that we can see why some things weren't done before. As again, like I say, with getting some public records request price, it might be in our overall best interest to maintain the road and take it over and alleviate it from Madison Township if it's that big a burden. It might be better for us to do that. Certainly we'll make some contingencies and move the gate up and talk to our neighbors and get some things worked out so that they have free access to the road as well, because we're not going to prohibit our neighbors from having access to the backside of their property. It's just, it's what we're arguing against now, so why would we do that to them? We're certainly not going to do that. At best of our knowledge, they're really good people and they've been good neighbors, so we'll do the right thing by them. But we'd like to have some time as a group to see and take a look at that and see what's in our best interest.
And while you're there, David, did you want to throw that up on the screen? David Odachi, Planning Commission, just so we can all see in context what we're talking about. So we do have Tim Brown from Madison Township. Anything you want to add to the conversation, sir, while we're there? Yeah, if you don't mind.
Well, if I have to, Tim.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Yes.
It's Timothy Brown, I'm Madison Township's administrator.
Here, come on.
2065 Hubbard Road, Madison. We started discussing this in public settings July, August of this past year about vacating. The Board of Trustees feel that this portion of East Loveland serves no public purpose, and we should not be spending taxpayer dollars because it's surrounded by two property owners and It's a private club at the end of the driveway. It's approximately half a mile from where the vacation is proposed. That's where the last resident lives. From that point north, it's all private. In our zoning, if there's adjacent property owners, we don't consider them landlocked. And so because Lake County Rod and Gun owns those two parcels together, that's not considered landlocked by our zoning.
I see.
And again, the time constraint, I think that we're kind of worried, we're not worried about, but I think the Lake County engineer has 30 days to prepare the report and present it to the commissioners, if I'm right about that. And I'm here on behalf of the board saying that those are our wishes, is the county commissioners consider the vacation.
And engineer, any comment you want to make on that, or just leave it in the hands of legal? Wise man, you can tell the senior staff when they just, no, let legal handle it. Okay, so if we're following the law, that would be not causing a hardship. As much as I don't want to cause a hardship on the property owner, I don't want to cause a hardship on the township, as long as we're taking guidance from the prosecutor's office, we're all in good standing, and you and the property, or the township and the property owners, you guys can work this out, hopefully, with some alacrity. Lonnie's just smiling. It's like, he's used to hostage negotiations and other things, you know, with law enforcement career.
Yes, I believe, one other point of clarification, we chip sealed up to the point where we are going to vacate this year.
Okay.
Because we were considering vacating, so obviously we're not going to improve the road that we're going to request is vacated within 3 to 4 months.
Sure.
So roughly where East Loveland starts is about the point where we would vacate, and it would go all the way north past around the bend to where the road kind of disappears.
Okay. And if everybody agrees on what we're talking about, that we know the footprint, so to speak? Sir, yeah. Sorry,
Counterpoint I would make to Tim.
Yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's for those who are, and for our report.
The only counterpoint I would make to Tim is that he doesn't want to make any improvements on the road. He wouldn't be necessarily having this discussion had they carried out what they should have done over the course of time. And why the sense of urgency now that you don't want to do any maintenance on the road, you just want to vacate the road and be done with it. I understand that financially, I get that, but had we done what they should have done, in my opinion, and the club's opinion, then we wouldn't be having that discussion. This probably would go a lot smoother.
And it's fair to say that you're going to work closely with the township?
I think the world, Tim and I, we get along very well.
Good to know.
Or as best we can, how about that? I think that's good.
Spirit
Yeah, we're not adversarial, not at all.
Excellent, good to know. Okay.
Good with me?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Bo.
Mr. President?
Sir.
3 things. First of all, I'm grateful that Mr. Hackman is going to be in touch with the property owners, so at least from this point forward, we're absolutely transparent. No one's surprised with what comes next. So thanks to Mr. Hackman for taking that extra effort. Second, I'd really be grateful, Lonnie, if you'd let me know when your next big fundraiser event to benefit veterans or first responders are. I'm sure the commissioner's office would want to send as many commissioners as we can to support you. That's a very important cause, and we want to be there to help. And third, we want to thank you for your service as a captain and a deputy sheriff to Lake County.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Question.
Sir. Commissioner Young.
Lonnie, why is the 30 days? It seems you feel the 30 days is too soon. You'd like a little bit more time to evaluate this, maybe talk to the board about it, talk to the township about it.
Well,
is the 30 days an important
well,
issue?
with all due respect, Mr. Young, I've been in quasi-politics for 37 years. Getting something done in 30 days when records request and seeing what it is and what should have been spent and has not been spent will take substantially more than 30 days. And to get an evaluator in to evaluate the property, see how we're going to be impacted, given this time of year with all the hearings that is going to take place on real estate, where values have been skyrocketed up on people who may not be able to afford it. I doubt very seriously if we could get this resolved and get the records we need and put something together with an appraiser to see what's in our best interest in 30 days. Just from experience. Can I give you steadfast facts as to why it would take more? No, sir, I cannot, in fairness to the township, in fairness to our club. But just from experience, I know you do not get those kind of things quickly this time of year.
Very good. Tim?
Just, me and Mr. Sparkman, we spoke August?
Again, if you, I hate
September.
to ask, if you could come to the microphone, please. Thank you.
Tim Brown again. I did speak to Mr. Sparkman as a representative of the gun club back in July or August when we were considering the vacation. So I think our resolution was done in September or so. So the 30 days, I think we've done our due diligence, and the public is aware of the issue. And I'll leave it at that.
Fair.
Well, in response to that.
Fair enough, yes.
That initial conversation was, I'm going to present it to the trustees to see if they want to go forward with that. Not that we're definitely going to do that. Then there was another hearing, which I could not attend because of another group politically that I'm involved with outdoorsmen, that they held in Madison Township for the initial thing, that we had representation there. But that wasn't the kind of thing that you're going to have any kind of conversation about the funds and everything else that's involved here. So a little different time frame in terms of trying to point out that it's July and August and we had all this time prior to this date. That's just not
Fair enough.
We're talking about late September when that was finally done, or whatever time it was done in September, and then the hearing notice here. And that's what this hearing is for, quite frankly.
Indeed.
To voice the opinion, because you have the final say in terms of this road being vacated because of the funds involved, not necessarily at the Madison Township level.
Sure.
And Tim, why is the 30 days? Is it a critical issue for the township that it be done?
No. I think the 30 days, and Mr. Gluchik can maybe point this out. I think the 30 days is after the county engineer receives notice. They have to prepare a report for the commissioners within 30 days. I think that was the time frame that the council was concerned with.
What time? How much time would that be approximately?
I believe the report's been submitted. I know it has.
But that doesn't drive our resolution on this, though. Am I correct on that?
That's the one thing I want to check.
And that's what we need to get the legal definition.
And
Okay.
just looking at the packet here, it appears the resolution was passed by Madison Township on October 12th.
Okay. So we're just looking at what the guardrails are, what the timelines are. Okay.
And we have fully cooperated with the engineer's office. We provided all surveys that we had in our possession of the engineer's office to help expedite this as best we could. So to suggest that we're trying to avoid moving hastily on this is simply not true. We've met with the engineer's office. We provided them a number of surveys to try to assist in where it was at, because there was, at one point, East Loveland and West Loveland were attached, and that part of that section was vacated. And we're looking at that. We don't know if those documents were ever filed, and we'll see if they were, but that section was vacated as a paper road, I think it's called, years ago.
Sure.
So it's not that we're trying to move and drag our feet. Now we're asking to say, no, we have been taking steps by meeting with the engineers, getting them surveys they needed to try to do the right thing and help as best we could.
Excellent. All right. Thank you both. If there's anyone else wishing to address the board in person? No? Okay, moving on. We will now receive any written comments on the proposed road vacation. Jennifer Bell, have we received any written?
There were no written comments.
Thank you, ma'am. The Board of County Commissioners will not make any decisions on the above stated road vacation at this time. Any additional written comments on the subject may be sent to the clerk of the Board of Lake County Commissioners, 105 Main Street, 5th floor, Building A, Lake County Administration Center, Painesville, Ohio, 44057, until 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 22nd, 2021. And at this point, I will say this public hearing is adjourned at, mark the time, Madam Clerk. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, and we will simply roll directly in. If I'm looking at our IT guy, just roll right into the commissioner meeting. Okay. All right, so we will now go directly into our 45th meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners. Would all those who are willing and able please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for Thou art the source of all authority, and may we use it in our directives for the common good and for Thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Here.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Present.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Okay, we have this our first public comment portion. I'd like to bring up John Hutchison from Project Hope for the Homeless. John, I believe you have a presentation for us. Good to see you, by the way.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm John Hutchison. I'm the Grants and Communications Coordinator for Project Hope for the Homeless. We're located at 25 Freedom Road in Painesville Township. Just wanted to say thank you for your upcoming proclamation today for National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week in Lake County. And I really do appreciate the opportunity to address the board here today. Just wanted to quickly go through a few points just so you can know a little bit more about our organization and so the public can as well. We're the only emergency homeless shelter in Lake County. We provide up to 50 beds per night, and that includes basic needs, meals, and shelter and program care for up to 38 single adults in the adult shelter and 12 people in our Families Moving Forward program for parents with children. We also have, so we have 4 programs. We have an adult shelter, as I mentioned, our Families Moving Forward program. We also have an aftercare program, so when people are exiting our care, we're able to keep touch with them so they don't slip through the cracks. We can sometimes give them starter items, pots and pans, dishes, microwaves, things that they need if they're moving into a place that's not furnished at all. So that's really helped our recidivism rate stay very low. It's between 5 to 6%. And when you think about it, people are really transitioning into a new lifestyle and becoming self-sufficient. So we're not seeing those folks coming back. They're successful, they're productive members of society. So that program really goes a long way to help our former guests. We also have a senior care Hope House program. And that was started in 2019, and it provides transitional shelter for up to 3 seniors who are 62 and older. So that's really helped people who are, elderly. Maybe they can't be out during the daytime when when the shelter is not open for our guests. So that really helps them, get a little bit more care than they would during their stay at the shelter on Freedom Road. We've had an amazing success rate. Last year it was 86% of our guests transitioned into a positive situation, meaning they found housing within 30 days. And so when you think about that, it's really remarkable because when our guests come to the shelter, many have not eaten for days, many have not showered for a while. They're often at the lowest point in their life. They have no hope. They're afraid. They're embarrassed. They are not in a good place, and a lot of times they don't want to talk to anybody. They just want to exist and try to get through. So when you think about that, the success rate of 86% within a month, you're seeing people's lives change very quickly. Once their basic needs are taken care of, they're able to work on the things that really get to the root of their homelessness. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to be a hotel. We're trying to be a place where people can turn their lives around and become self-sufficient. And we're really proud of our ability to be able to do that in a very short period of time, relatively speaking. Our guests are treated with the utmost respect when they are there. We smile, we make eye contact. So many people who are homeless, their whole day, people look away at them. They don't want to deal with somebody who they think might be homeless. They're walking down the street, they see somebody, they turn away, they look. They don't want to deal with it. So our staff and our volunteers make that eye contact. We have regular conversations with people that they so often aren't able to have. And once people start to see that hope and respect that we provide for them, they are willing to take the challenges that they need to work on. And it's tough. I mean, it's hard work being homeless. People think a lot of times that homeless people are lazy. That's really not the case. There's so many barriers to overcome when you're homeless. You know, transportation, mental illnesses, lack of food, worrying about your safety, where you're going to sleep at night. Those types of things that we take for granted make each person's day who is homeless very difficult. So when we're able to help them overcome their barriers that they're facing, it is extremely successful, and we're very proud of that. We are always looking for people to help support us. We look for volunteers. We have needs for everybody's schedule, early mornings, afternoons, evenings, weekends, whatever time frame works for you or anybody. You can serve once a week, you can serve once a month, once a quarter, whatever works to your schedule. We're very flexible with that. We also look for meal providers. Our foods are, a hot meal is donated every single day, so we don't cook there. So we're always looking for people to provide meals, hot meals. Financial donations, of course, are majorly important to us. Helps us pay for the staffing and the services that we provide, and supply donations too. So when those things are donated to us, we do not have to purchase them. So that saves us hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. So people can find those supply donation lists on our current needs list on our website, which is projecthopeforthehomeless.org. We do also take donations on Mondays and Wednesdays at the shelter from 9 to noon. So that's our public drop-off donation time. And lastly, I just wanted to thank the commissioners and this board for your support in the past, especially with community development block grant funding. Most recently, we were awarded funds to be able to purchase a generator. So that will be extremely valuable to us because we have not had a backup power for refrigeration, heat, lights, and electricity. So we appreciate your support.
Indeed, worthy and worthwhile effort.
Thank you. So I don't have anything else. If you have any questions.
Gentlemen?
I just have one. Well, go ahead, John.
Mr. President,
Sir.
no questions. I just want to thank John. I just want to thank you and your colleagues and the hard work that you've put into Project Hope for the Homeless. I did have the opportunity to visit Painesville Township and Project Hope earlier this year, and I have to say, the incredible facility that you've maintained, it's spick and span, it's clean, it feels like a home. I think that anyone would be comfortable volunteering there or staying there. And I know how hard that is to maintain such a wonderful facility with such great and friendly staff and people and volunteers, so that you really have created a home for people who have nowhere else to go. So on behalf of Lake County, we thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Really appreciate that.
Bless you. Commissioner Young?
Yeah, first I want to ditto what Commissioner Plesnick just said. And also, I had a question. You mentioned that 86% of the folks that come to you within a month, they're already out there on their own, basically. Because one of the reasons was, you said, because they have a chance to relax, and they're sheltered, they're fed, properly clothed, et cetera, et cetera. And then they can deal with those issues that cause their homelessness. What are some of the major issues that people are facing when they're in that situation there with you folks? What are the things you help them deal with?
Yeah, sure. We work with more than 30 organizations in Lake County, so we're very collaborative in nature. A lot of people have untreated mental illnesses. About 3/4 of the people who stay there either have a mental illness and or a drug addiction that they're in recovery from. So it is very hard to deal with that sometimes when you're worried about where you're going to eat, where you're going to sleep. So, even getting your prescription medication, getting to appointments, making sure that they actually follow up and do it. A lot of times people get medication, they don't like the side effects, so they quit taking it, or they feel good And so they're like, I'm fine, I don't need to take any more, I don't need to do any treatment. Well, we're there to make sure that they're following up and doing all the things that they need to do. So that is one of the biggest factors in homelessness, is untreated mental illnesses and drug addictions. And another one too, obviously funds. People don't have money when they're typically homeless. But I will say a lot of people do work and have jobs. They just, oftentimes they need to be able to save up enough money. They've been displaced from their home. Perhaps their landlord was selling their property and they simply didn't have anywhere to go and could not afford a security deposit and a first month's rent at the same time. They just didn't have the money to do that. So when they come to us, they're able to save their money for that period of time, and then they can apply it, towards, a security deposit and a rent, and we can help them find places to stay, to live. A lot of times people have burned many bridges with their family members and their friends. And once they're able to stabilize and get the hope back in their life, they can mend those fences. And a lot of times people will be able to go back and stay with family members and friends when they just simply didn't have good relationships with people before. So those are some of the major reasons.
Very good.
Thank you.
Really been impressed with you folks over the years.
Thank you very much.
Great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to continue on with that theme, though, the openness, the welcomeness, the fellowship, and the respect, that's one of the things that our church family takes very seriously. Lifeline Church, we participate, our sister church, Lifehouse Church, just that ability, and I would highly encourage other organizations to get in touch to help, because that fellowship, that respect, it's fundamental to what you folks do, and it really is helpful, and it does return people back to being productive members of society. So you give people that gap, that extra, that hand up instead of a hand out. So
Exactly.
Bless you for that.
Thank you very much.
So if you could stick around, I promise we'll move you up to the top of the list here shortly.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And with that, moving on to Joel DeMar. I believe you have a presentation regarding the AWT Apprenticeship Program. I think there's a video also associated with this. Joel, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to pivot on the video today in the essence of time, but I will say the video is plastered all over Ohio Means Job, Lake County, and AWT social media, so please take the time if you're interested to go see that video. I just want to take a couple brief seconds today to bring some awareness to National Apprenticeship Week this week, and just the importance of that in our community. Obviously, there's been a great partnership over the last few years between our workforce board and AWT, and through that partnership, through our wheel of funding, we're able to fund income-eligible individuals for the apprenticeship program. Within our community, there's apprentices placed at Spence Technologies, Remico Products, Freedon Corporation, and many other of our local manufacturers. So it's very important that we bring awareness to this. This week, I got some statistics, actually Suzanne passed on to me from the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, and this to me is the most important one. 94% of apprentices, after they complete their apprenticeship, remain and stay on in employment. And as we see turnover and increasing retirements in our community, I think it's on all of us to bring the awareness to the apprenticeship model as much as possible. And then finally, I'm looking forward to seeing the commissioners welcome and bring some awareness to all of our apprentices this afternoon at Auburn as we present them with some certificates of appreciation. So look forward to that this afternoon.
Thank you. Okay, very good. So continuing on with our first public comment portion, do we have anyone wishing to address the board at this time? Yes, John.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive, Greenville Township. I'd just like to thank, I see resolution number 12. I want to thank the rest of the project program and Commissioner Fletchnick introduced this, and hopefully this will pass. I believe, in my opinion, that the seniors need help here in Lake County, and any and all help will be appreciated. And they've worked for many myself. 45 years, almost 50 years here as well, and it's time where we need to help the people that really, some of appreciate the seniors. They're one of them right now. Things are financially and other reasons that it's getting tough. So I appreciate your support on that resolution 12, and thank you for bringing it up. And Randy, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wishing to address the board? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, can we kind of declare that resolution proclaiming November 13th through the 22nd, 2021 as item number 7 and move it to the top of our list? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay,
is
with
not-
that in mind, Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
A resolution proclaiming November 13th through the 22nd, 2021 as National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week in Lake County, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Okay, with that, we have to have the presenting of. If you would, please. John, thank you.
Right here. Yep.
Chad's our favorite Giants fan. Once again, thank you for all you do.
Okay, Madam Clerk, continue with item number 1 now, please. Thank you.
In the Engineer's Office, resolution authorizing an agreement between the Lake County Commissioners and the City of Paynesville, designating Lake County as the LPA for the LAK Chestnut Street County Road 329 resurfacing project in the City of Paynesville and Concord Township, PID number 112483, LCE project number 2020-013.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing an agreement between the Lake County Commissioners and the City of Paynesville, designating Lake County as the LPA for the LAK Newell Street County Road 335 resurfacing project in the City of Paynesville and Paynesville Township, PID number 112485, LCE project number 2020-011.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution increasing appropriations in Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring appropriations and transferring cash from Lake County Department of Utilities Project Fund 595 to the Water Operating Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring appropriations and transferring cash from Lake County Department of Utilities Project Fund 596 to the Sewer Operating Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations in Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing advertising for bids for the management and operation of the landfill at the Lake County Solid Waste Facility, bid opening December 15, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an engineering agreement with Arcadis Incorporated for the Dodd Hill, Chimney Ridge, and Sunshine Acres Facilities Improvements Project 456S for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid water and sewer sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant November 19, 2021, in the amount of $454,779.10.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And the Commissioner's Office, resolution authorizing the Board of Lake County Commissioners to issue a request for qualifications for professional design services relating to the Lake County Public Safety Center project, establishing December 20th, 2021 as submission due date, and authorizing county staff to review qualifications to issue a recommendation to the Board of Lake County Commissioners.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution establishing discounted rates or charges in the amount of 25% for persons 65 years or older that are eligible for the Homestead Exemption for water and sanitary services provided by the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Oh, come on. I was going to pull your leg and say none being heard. Yes, Commissioner.
I just want to extend a special thank you to our county prosecutor's office as well as our Lake County Department of Utilities for working so hard on this issue. When I had an initial meeting earlier this year with Chief Civil Assistant Prosecutor Dave Hackman, as well as Director Randy Roethlisberger, and we were reviewing the Ohio Revised Code together, it immediately jumped out at me that commissioners were granted the authority to give a senior discount for seniors with low income as established by the Homestead Exemption. And I asked Mr. Roethlisberger the history. He explained that this was a discount that Lake County had provided in the past but no longer did. And I asked Mr. Hackman if his colleagues and he could research the issue, could give us a sense of what we could do, while Mr. Roethlisberger was looking at what we could afford to do financially as a county to try to make a meaningful discount and give meaningful help to our seniors. And working together, we've created this proposal to provide a 25% discount for water and sewer services for seniors who are 65 years of age or older, who are residents of their own home. It's got to be their property where they live as opposed to an investment, and who are eligible for the Homestead Exemption. This is something that seniors will be able to apply for, and I think that 25% is a pretty meaningful reduction, a pretty meaningful discount. Inflation is real. We're all experiencing it. This is going to be the most expensive Thanksgiving dinner of all time. And as I said, when I wrote my initial paper that got me my job at Cleveland State, inflation is a tax. It's often a hidden tax. We don't perceive it up front, but when you're done paying the bills, you have a lot less left. In the case of some seniors, there's not enough to pay the bills in the first place. So I know that this is not going to solve all the problems of the world, but I feel it's our responsibility as county commissioners to understand that seniors on fixed incomes are being taxed out of their homes, that inflation has become a huge burden, and this is our way locally of responding to that stress and that pressure to try to help our seniors, and it's only possible with the hard work of our county prosecutor's office, of our Department of Utilities, the Board of Commissioners. So I'm really grateful that my proposal is here at the dais today, and I'll be grateful for the support of the commissioners in making this happen.
Very good. Commissioner Young?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Commissioner Pleshnik. Hard work and perception. You know, you found this in the law. You worked hard to make it a reality for our seniors. And these types of activities are huge, reducing the cost of government and services for people in need is, for people in general for that matter, it's so important. We need to do more of that. Government's much too expensive today, too invasive, too huge, and really needs to be trimmed back. And this is fantastic. Congratulations. Job well done.
Thank you, Commissioner Young.
And I would be remiss if I did not compliment Randy and his team. Everything that is being proposed is within the finance model as far as costs, future costs, all that's been taken into account. So I give high marks for making sure we stay within the rate structures and everything is properly accounted for. So I know that'll also make Mr. Matus, our Budget and Finance Director, happy too. So well done to everybody, but well done for doing it the right way. So again, thank you.
Good job.
If there's nothing further to add, Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $2,493 or $493,748.24.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Should I make a bad joke? We're so used to nowadays talking about trillions of dollars. Millions just are so hard to say these days. No, don't make that joke. If there's nothing further to add, save me here. Madam Clerk, roll call,
It's
please.
getting all too easy to say.
Yeah, agreed.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $981,604.26.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing an appropriation for a non-general fund account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Thank you. This brings us to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities.
Thank you, Commissioner. Speaking about senior discounts and customer service, Matt Armand is here today to talk a little bit about our customer service group and introduce some of our employees there.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I'm here today to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to me and to our department, and that is customer service. On my drive in this morning, I was collecting my thoughts and trying to determine exactly what I would say here today to all of you. And in the process, the following came to mind. Several institutions out there talk about this concept of customer satisfaction. That's what many strive for, as we know. I never supported this concept, and I never will. Satisfaction is not good enough. Our goal, some may ask and wonder, is to amaze the customer, not just satisfy, but amaze. In terms of customer service, our goal is to be a Stradivarius among ordinary violins. Since 2016, our department has actively sought to engage our customers and find out the level of service we provide. I am very happy to say that as of today, in terms of courtesy and expertise, our billing office, our meter readers, our investigators have done an outstanding job. In fact, 93.1% of our customers say excellent. 5.5% say good, and 1.1% say average. But behind these statistics are the employees, are the people. And while some may wait for Employee Appreciation Day, I don't. Gratitude must be given every day and many a times over. I have behind me Andrew Shepka. He's our supervisor of our meter group. I have Carrie Yankee, who is the manager of our billing office. And I have Patricia Graham, who is a supervisor in our billing office. It is them and each and every single one of their employees that are the heroes of our story. And they are indispensable to our operations. They represent the great face of our department and this county. I am grateful for the outstanding work they do on a daily basis. And in closing, I want to express a concept that I have said many times over when it comes to customer service. At 211 degrees, we all know that water is considered to be hot. We know if you touch it, you will get burnt. But at 212 degrees, that hot water produces steam. And steam is powerful enough to propel a locomotive and to move it forward. It is that 1 degree that makes all the difference in business and in life. This department, utilities, customer service, the meter group, we believe in that 1 degree. We always have, and we always will. In conclusion, I'll say I am deeply proud, in a heartfelt way, for their service and the service of every single one of the employees. I only wish I can have them here today to say this in person to them. But as you know, they're outperforming their jobs. I'm very proud of them, and I hope that you are too. Thank you.
Wow, Matt, bless you. It is invigorating to hear such passion and truly well-earned regard. I have to say, this is caught you doing something good just doesn't seem to say enough. Wow, I like hearing routinely that type of sentiment. Just this Tuesday, under Commissioner Young's leadership, we had an informational meeting on an unrelated subject, but it was such a good thing to hear our Lake County's own Judge Kravitz talking about such similar high praise, being so many years ahead of other organizations. That sentiment carries on. It's important, though, that the general public, I'm not saying we're tooting our own horns, but toot thy own horn for fear that no one shall toot it for thee is very important. And this venue, Randy, you give your crew a great deal of flexibility, and you have put a lot of trust in them. And they've earned that trust, as you have earned our trust. You and your team are high performers. Are you perfect? No. But what distinguishes you from other organizations is how you handle those oopses. And I believe that goes hand in glove with why there is such a high satisfaction rate. We live in a society where people expect high performance. And wow, and going with this rate restructuring, that is huge. Randy, did you want to add anything to this, gentlemen? You want to add? This is good stuff.
One of my rules is I never follow Matt other than his speech, so I'm going to stick with that. He pretty much says it all.
Thank you. Gentlemen, is there anything else to add?
Mr. President, I would
Sir.
just say that in every instance that I've worked with the Lake County Department of Utilities, I've been grateful and more than surprised by I can't use level of competency, I would say level of excellence that I've seen at every level in your organization. You serve the taxpayer and you view the job just the same way Commissioners Young, President Hammercheck, and I view ours. You understand that you are a public servant and that every day you're helping the seniors, those most in need, the folks of Lake County. And nobody said that your team had to do homework, read through the Ohio Revised Code with the prosecutor's office and an eccentric law professor, but when the suggestion was made, you jumped at the chance because you saw an opportunity to help Lake County seniors. And that's just one of many, many examples where you've gone above and beyond to make sure that you made a difference for the people that you serve. I think you each view yourselves as a congressperson, a mayor, a commissioner. Like, how can I help? How can I do more? Because I represent the people that I serve. And there's nothing more critical until you have a boil alert on Thanksgiving than water. We take that for granted. We talked about taking food and homes for granted as we've declared this, the week, the month of homelessness and hunger and remembering that. Well, we often take water for granted. We don't realize the incredible amount of work that it takes to safely transport the water from Lake Erie to make sure that there is no toxins, no impurities, to do that not on a day-by-day but a minute-by-minute basis, in addition to the customer service of dealing with billing and everything in between. So for that, we thank you.
Excellent. Very good. All right.
Very impressive. I would just say keep thumping on that sort of areas. We love you guys. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, Job and Family Services. Follow that one, huh?
Wow, that is a really tough act to follow. However, I'm pleased to report that I can continue the theme of high praise. About a month and a half ago, I shared that the Cayley home, which is a group home owned and operated by Lake County Department of Job and Family Services, was going through the accreditation process through CARF. And CARF stands for the Commission of Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. And I'm very pleased to report that last week we received word that we are accredited. We've received a 3-year accreditation, which is the highest score that we could have received. And I think it is important to share a little bit more about accreditation. Accreditation is an ongoing process that distinguishes a provider's service delivery and signals to the public. That I think is very important to mention today. Accreditation signals to the public that the provider is committed to continuous performance improvement, responsiveness to feedback, and accountability to the community and its other stakeholders. And that is what we do at the Cayley home. We are there to serve children in our community who have been adjudicated, abused, neglected, or dependent on the state for assistance, and we take that job very seriously. I also wanted to share a little bit about what the evaluator mentioned in their accreditation decision, specifically related to the Cayley home. The Cayley home demonstrates substantial conformance to the CARF standards. Cayley home is well designed and structured for the provision of group home services to the young clients it serves. Its services reflect the organization's strong core belief in client-centered service delivery. The home, the Cayley home, provides a comfortable, therapeutic, and enriching environment for the provision of group home services. Clients are benefiting from the services that they receive. And lastly, I just wanted to note that across the board, our evaluator noted that the clients, referral sources, funders, and other stakeholders expressed a high level of satisfaction with and appreciation for the organization and its services and for the quality of the leadership, management, and other staff members. So following up on what Mr. Armand said about his staff, I do give high praise to our staff who are at the Cayley home taking care of the children in our community that need it most. And if that wasn't good enough news, that we received our CARF accreditation, that was really the first part of a two-pronged process. First, we needed to receive our CARF accreditation, and then we needed to apply to the state of Ohio to become QRTP certified. And QRTP is new language in the law. It stands for Qualified Residential Treatment Provider. And last night at 9:36 p.m., we received the news that the Cayley home has been certified to be a QRTP facility. So I wanted to share that today, and again, sing high praise to our staff who made this possible.
Bless you for all the work you do, and the Cayley home that's taking care of children in Lake County that are truly in need. Did you want to expand upon that just a skosh, just so people understand?
Sure. Typically, children are placed at the Cayley home due to behavioral health issues, so mental illness, drug and alcohol issues. They need a safe and secure environment to receive treatment with the goal that they could eventually reunify home with their parents or other caregivers.
Excellent, thank you.
And if I may,
Absolutely.
I have one
The
more
floor is
thing.
yours.
I
Keep
have
going.
one more.
Good news is wonderful.
Right. So last month I was approached by Corey Bojak, the Director of Workforce Development, and he asked me if I would consider partnering with the Sub-Zero mission to do a collection for the homeless individuals in our community. So I'm happy to report that yes, Job and Family Services, in partnership with Ohio Means Job Lake County and Sub-Zero Mission, is going to be doing a collection for warming items for homeless individuals. That collection is going to be next Tuesday, the 23rd. There's going to be a bus parked outside of the Job and Family Services building to collect warming items that the Sub-Zero Mission has requested, such as coats, boots, hats, gloves, sleeping bags, tents, socks, only new socks. We're also going to have a taco truck at the agency that day, parked next to the bus, so that as individuals and companies drop off their donations, they could get tacos for lunch if they want. And we're looking forward to supporting the Sub-Zero Mission. We chose the month of November because the Sub-Zero Mission does serve a lot of veterans, and Veterans Day is in the month of November, as you all know. And the taco truck that's going to be there is owned and operated by a veteran as well. So I have information about the collection. If anyone's interested, I could pass that out at the end of the meeting.
Fantastic, thank you. Gentlemen, anything else for Suzanne? Okay, well, I will add as I segue into our county administrator, who is yet again continuing to serve the people of Lake County in federal court, Judge Polster's court, regarding the opioid litigation, regarding the pharmacies. He is there standing by. It is in the hands of the jury, but occasionally there may be questions that come out that I need answering, so he has made himself available for legal and just waiting for a decision. But Suzanne, thank you for all the time you put in down in Cleveland, being one of our forward-facing, along with Kim Frazier, Jason Boyd. It helped me. I got to stay in the gallery. I got to stay out of the way, which sometimes is the best thing an elected leader can do, is stay out of the way and trust your people to do the right thing. So thank you for that. Moving on to our clerk, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to mention next week is Thanksgiving week, so our commissioners meeting is going to be held on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It's November 23rd. And also I wanted to mention that the county offices will then be closed Thanksgiving and then the day after Thanksgiving as well.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Legal.
I do, Commissioner. I was able to scooch over with Dave Radacci, head of planning, When the photos were being taken, he was able to give me some information. I was able to pull the statute up with regard to the road vacation issue.
Yes,
And
from
yes.
our first public hearing before this meeting, for those who may be trying to look for some context.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
There is a 60-day component after the filing of the resolution from Madison Township with this Board of Commissioners. Looks like it was filed with our Board of Commissioners on October 18th. The commissioners, there's a 60-day window, and they can deny the vacation, they can grant the vacation. This is another interesting component of it, and there's other spots in the code where this will come up. If the board does nothing within that 60-day period, the road is vacated automatically by operation of law.
So where are we at on that timetable based on that new information?
Well, it will be roughly 60 days. It is 60 days from October 18th, the date the resolution was filed with the Board of Commissioners, and I will call Mr. Sparkman and let him know that.
Today is the 60th day?
No, I'm sorry. 60 days from October 18th. I may have misspoken.
Okay, and I just wanted to be clear.
It's going to be roughly December 18th, but I like to count it out.
Gotcha, okay. So
But I'll call Mr. Sparkman and let him know. And
as agreed, okay.
And it's a special statutory procedure, so there's no way to alter that time frame.
Gotcha. Okay, and then for those who are trying to follow along, this came from a public hearing regarding the proposed vacation of a portion of East Loveland Road in Madison Township. And that was a public hearing immediately preceding this meeting, just so that people have some sense of context. Gentlemen, any questions for legal on that? Hearing none, sir, thank you. Okay, moving on to old business. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Hearing none, new business. Do we have any new business? Again, hearing none. Second public portion. Do we have anyone? Mr. Massey. Sorry, I apologize for the fake. No, come on. On the Mr. Massey pausing, I saw multiple hands go up, so that was trying to be sensitive. Thank you.
Should I wait for them to vacate?
Yes. I assure you the clock has not started running because we don't run a clock at this point, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I just have some questions on the resolutions. I was going through the resolutions, and the one regarding the appropriation increase for $70,000 appropriation for a non-general fund account. It just has the fund account number, but there's no designation of name. So I'm just wondering, what are we spending the $70,000 on?
This increase, I'm just reading the back of it. This increase is to cover salaries for the remainder of 2021, and it's one of those, if you have any questions, and it's Debbie Kubrick. I hope I'm not too terribly mispronouncing that name.
Okay, so it's a salary type of...
Yes.
Also, resolution regarding the Public Safety Center. Is that another name for the jail, the county jail?
Item 11, yes.
So that is... are we calling it a public safety center, or are we calling it the county jail?
We've been calling it a safety center project from the beginning, something safety related. We've been...
Okay, so it is a public safety center, okay. Also, the resolution for $110,000 for purchased water for the Department of Utilities. I'm sorry, it's a resolution increasing the appropriation. I don't have the...
Okay, hold on. I'll try to keep up with you.
It may be number 4, or number 3, rather, in the agenda.
That's for the okay.
$110,000 purchased water for the utilities. Do we have any idea what that's... What are we purchasing water for?
Okay, let me read the note here. Dear Commissioners, it is the recommendation of the Director of Operations of the Lake County Department of Utilities that the Board of Lake County Commissioners adopt the following resolution. Resolution increasing appropriations in the Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund. Appropriation is increased in the Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund account 5000711-700 purchased water for 2021 expenses. This is from Gary Fedak. If I had to hazard a guess, and I apologize if we've lost Randy at this point,
I'll follow up with Randy, and I'll just ask him.
I do believe that we do have some mutual agreements with other water producers. So there may be some interconnect, there may be something to that effect, but that would be consistent with that.
Okay.
And that is the fund that it came out of, that five, let me make sure I get all those zeros in there, 5000711-700.
The last item is regarding the Homestead Exemption. I had the opportunity to hear State Representative Dan Troy at a town hall meeting on Monday at the Mentor Library, and we did take a video of that, and one of the items that he talked about was the Homestead Exemption. I was interested in that because I had previously spoken to Auditor Galloway on the Homestead Exemption, and he made me aware of the Homestead Exemption is not nearly as robust as it used to be because of inflation. Just the inflationary factor has reduced the overall impact, and Representative Troy is, as I understand it, starting an initiative to try to get the Homestead Exemption at least tied into the rate of inflation, so that as this inflation kicks in, it's not just going to eat away all the benefits, for the seniors. So what I will do is I will try to reach out to Representative Callender to see if he can perhaps join Representative Troy in doing something meaningful for the seniors, which would be in line with what you're doing with the reduction in the water fees for the seniors. So I just wanted to make the commissioners aware of that and publicly thank Representative Troy for taking the initiative. I hope it's not just a nominal amount. I hope it is significant and not just to get the attention of the seniors for their vote, but to actually be very meaningful, for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, John Music, I thought I saw you raise your, I think I lost John. Did he leave? Oh. Okay. Okay, well, is there anyone else wishing to address the board? Seeing none, we do, okay, moving on. We do have a few requests for executive session. There will be no business to be conducted afterward. There is a request for real estate acquisition. There is a second request for real estate acquisition. There is personnel compensation, and there is personnel collective bargaining. Do we have a motion to adjourn into executive session? Again, there will be no business to be conducted afterwards.
So moved. Well, second.
We'll see how Jennifer does that when we're by a nose there. Do we have any discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik?
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercat?
Yes. Thank you. And this meeting stands